Breaking news today.
Please subscribe and then check notification box to get all breaking news alerts.
The Obama State Department allowed former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and her top aide Huma Abedin to remove call logs, scheduling documents and files described as Muslim engagement from government premises by labeling the records private, Judicial Watch has learned. Judicial Watch obtained records about the document removals in response to a Freedom of Information Act (FOIA) request for all forms authorizing the removal of personal papers and non-record materials, according to a Thursday press release. Judicial Watch today released new U.S. Department of State documents showing former Secretary Hillary Clinton and her then Deputy Chief of Staff Huma Abedin were permitted to remove electronic and physical records under a claim they were personal materials and unclassified, non-record materials, including files of Clinton's calls and schedules, which were not to be made public. The documents show the Obama State Department records would not be released to the general public under FOIA. The new records also show that Huma Abedin was allowed to take 5 boxes of physical files out of the State Department that include records described as Muslim engagement documents. Judicial Watch obtained the reports about the records from a Freedom of Information Act (FOIA) request for any and all DS 1904, authorization for the removal of personal papers and non-record materials, forms completed by, or on behalf of, any of the following individuals: former Secretary Hillary Clinton, former Chief of Staff Cheryl Mills, former Deputy Chief of Staff Huma Abedin, former Deputy Chief of Staff Jacob Sullivan. The documents include the list of official and personal calls and schedules that Clinton removed, which carry a special notation that the documents were not to be made public records. The notation is on an addendum to a DS 1904 signed by Clarence and Finney Jr., then Director of the Office of Correspondence and Records, who was the reviewing officer. Judicial Watch has a pending request for the deposition of Finney in separate litigation concerning Clinton emails and the Benghazi terrorist attack. These new documents show the Obama State Department had a deal with Hillary Clinton to hide her calls logs and schedules, which would be contrary to FOIA and other laws, Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton said in a statement. But are the American people going to get an honest investigation of the Clinton crimes? The documents, which are not classified but carry a special notation that they are not to be made public under normal FOIA procedure, include the list of Clinton's personal and official calls. The special notation was included as part of an addendum signed by Clarence and Finney Jr., then Director of the Office of Correspondence and Records, who reviewed the records. The newly obtained records also show that Abedin was authorized to remove 5 boxes of physical files that include documents described as Muslim engagement. They also indicate that Clinton removed a physical file of the log of the Secretary's gifts with pictures of gifts, which could potentially expose Clinton Foundation and Clinton Global Initiative connections. Like us on Facebook. Together we will make America great again.